Hello, my name is Blade, and today I will be giving a little taste of my DVD collection. So, I thought it would maybe be a fun video idea to go a little bit through my DVD, my physical film media collection, just because I am a person who loves to actually still buy physical media. If I like a movie, if I like an album, I'll buy the DVD, the vinyl, the CD, what have you. I also just like the feeling of being like, oh, you know what, I want to watch one of my favorite movies, and instead of looking for it on streaming or like hoping that it's on streaming, I have a copy readily available. It also helps the people who made the movie, and I also think I lost my whole train of thought. There we go. As what I was going to say is, I also think that this is a good way for, I've been around on the internet for a while, but this is a good way since I've just started posting more on TikTok and posting more on YouTube now. This is a good way for me to make content that's not so restricted to my film essays and my film reviews, where you can maybe get a little bit more of my personality, get to know me a little bit better, and also see a bit more of my movie taste outside of just what I talk about in Blade's Best in Show, or like in the reviews and in the film essays, because I definitely focus on horror a lot more in my content as a horror fan, but my taste goes well beyond that. So, the way I'm going to be doing this is it's definitely like part one, because there is a lot of DVDs to get through. And the way I thought I would structure this is currently the way I have my DVDs set up, just with the space I have available. I don't have like a wall or a shelf where they can be slotted, like horizontally, or excuse me, vertically. That was really dumb of me. I have them in stacks, where I can see the names that they are stacked. So I thought it would be interesting to just go like stack by stack. So there's about, I don't know, like 5 or 6 stacks, and that way it also kind of keeps it randomized. So I'm not going alphabetical. I'm not going by genre. We're just gonna see what comes up in these stacks. So our first DVD is 30 Days of Night. Now, this is a like 2008, 2007-ish, or actually it's probably on here, but 2008 horror film starring Josh Hartnett, of Pearl Harbor fame, or lately Trap, that film, we'll call it. It is a vampire horror movie. Now, I low-key love a vampire horror movie, and I feel like I don't seem like the type who would, but when I say vampire horror movie, and I don't mean this as any shade to like Twilight, because I'm not against movies like that, but I'm talking about like vampire horror. I'm talking about scary vampires coming to get me. And this, I think I would have to say, is my favorite vampire horror movie. I mean, the vampires in this movie are relentless, they're bloodthirsty, and they're scary. I also think the premise is just a really fun idea. It takes place in Alaska, in a town where there is, 30 days of night because they don't get the sun there, and these vampires take advantage of that, knowing that there will be 30 days of night. They don't have to hide, and they can feast, and these people will not really be able to escape them. It's not super gory, but when it's brutal, it is pretty brutal. There is a little bit of action involved, and it also is based off of a visual novel or comic that is just as good. So I had to have this on DVD. I was so glad when I found it. This is actually the second time I bought it on DVD, because the other one that I bought, this one is used, but it's a good used one. The other used one I bought was like all, not even scratched up. It was really like broken and falling apart. So very happy to have a good copy of this movie. And also, speaking about being used, support your local DVD or like record shops or whatever. You don't have to always go buy things brand new at Walmart or whatever. Go and support the divas, okay?
We need to get her in here before they find her.
Wait.
What?
Look at the rooftops behind her.
Next, we have one of my favorite movies from the 2010s, one of my favorite horrors of 2010s, and also one of my favorite horror movies, period, which is Sinister, directed by Scott Derrickson, of course, starring Ethan Hawke. I love this movie. Now, calling this a comfort movie as sinister as it is crazy, but there was literally a time last year where I had an awful stomach virus, and my grandma was like helping me because I was like throwing up, and like it was not a good time, and I came back to my room and laid down, and I had to lay on a certain side to be comfortable, but I still needed background noise, and I put on this movie. So I don't know what that says about me, because I wasn't even watching it, I was just hearing it, and I was like, yeah, this is the comfort that I need. But all jokes aside, I love this movie. I love Scott Derrickson's work in general. He made a short in VHS 85 that I think is, and it honestly has a lot of sinister vibes, so that's probably why I enjoyed it. But I love the score of this movie. It's one of the best horror scores in my opinion. I mean, it's terrifying on its own. You don't even need the context of the movie. It's a really like grisly movie, honestly. Like there's not that much on screen gore, but when things do go down, like it's a great title. Like this is Sinister. Like that really is a great title, and I think the villain is very interesting. I'm glad that we know what we know about him, but like we don't know too much about him. So yeah, I had to have this on DVD. I'll do my best to talk about how I got the DVDs, but this one I've had for so long that I'm not 100% sure. I probably either bought it for myself when I was younger, or I used to do this thing where my grandpa would ask me what I wanted for my birthday or for Christmas, and we would just go to the store and I would get it, and then I'd wrap it and pretend like I didn't know. So that's also how I could have come into possession of this. I don't know. But either way, glad I have it. Great movie. Next, we have finally somewhat of a more recently film, which is The Batman. Matt Reeves' Batman, starring Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Controversial yet brave. This is my favorite Batman movie. Now, I'm not necessarily like a huge like Batman fan, so that's not saying a lot, but this is my favorite Batman movie. I just really love this movie, which is so funny that I say that now, because my best friend basically had to drag me to the movie theater, not because I was like a fuck Batman or anything, or like DC, but as much as I love movies, just the idea of sitting in a movie theater for like over 2.5 hours is really asking a lot out of me personally. So it's just really ironic now that I'm now like, I love this movie, but I do. I think it's really there is a slight, oh my god, what's the word? Not film noir, but I can't remember the word right now. If it comes to me, I'll insert it here. But there's a certain vibe of this movie that I really enjoy, and it's not your typical like superhero like comic book movie. I think it's a great acting performance by Robert Pattinson. I like the music and the needle drops in it, and I don't know, I just think it's really interesting. Very excited to see what the sequel holds. Have not watched The Penguin. Don't come for me. But yeah, this one I actually just recently got at Walmart, and it was only $5. So I was like, yeah, I have to have that. Next, we have one of my favorite childhood movies, and still one of my favorite characters to this day, which is we have an extremely Goofy movie sequel to a Goofy movie. So that's the fun of just doing this randomly. We have a sequel before we get to the original, because I do also own that. But I just have always adored the Goofy movies, and especially Max Goof. It probably doesn't come across a lot in my like drag or like aesthetic, or however my persona that I present as Blade, but in my day-to-day life as just a dude, there's a lot of Max Goof energy. He's the blueprint for me. I just love, it's like these movies are just everything that I love. It's silly, and it's skateboarding, and I don't know, I just think it's just a nostalgia factor, but I just think they're even a fun watch now. This one's only like 45 minutes or something though, but either way, This is another Walmart purchase. They were both at Walmart at the same time for like $3 or something, so I snatched them up immediately. Yeah, I had to have it. And if you don't believe me on how much I like Max Goof, fun fact about me is I like to make my own like decoupage phone cases. I got the idea from Trixie Mattel and Brittany Broski. This is an old phone of mine, or old phone case of mine. There he is on the phone case. So there you go. And also, if you peep the rest of it, you just got a glimpse into my life. So. Next, we have a classic movie that most of you probably, if not have seen, have read in school, or have at least heard of, and that is The Outsiders. I quite enjoy The Outsiders. Classic story. Also has, can't remember his name right now, but actor from The Karate Kid, which is another movie that I love. But also it has my baby daddy from the 80s, Matt Dillon, in it. I love Matt Dillon, one of my favorite actors. He also is, I'm not saying he's not handsome anymore, but like younger 80s Matt Dillon is, but I love this movie. It's a classic. It's a heartwarming story. It's a sad story at times. It's a classic tale. I did in fact read it in school in like 8th grade. I think honestly don't remember a lot of it. Also, Francis Ford Coppola, it's a Coppola film. So yeah, this one actually I did not buy. My aunt had it in her movie cabinet, and they don't really like watch DVDs anymore, and I saw it and she was like, you can have it, so I very happily took it.
Get the 3:15 train to Windricksville. It's a freight. There's an abandoned church on top of Jay Mountain. There's a pump in the back, so you don't have to worry about water. Get a week's supply of food as soon as you get there this morning before the story gets hot.
Well, just like I said, the randomness of this, we have a Goofy movie, number 1. Now, this one is definitely my favorite of the two. I used to think it was an extremely goofy movie just because of, like, the BMX, like, X Games aspect of it, but then I rewatched, and don't get me wrong, still love it, but it's like 45 minutes and really short, and there's not a lot of plot, whereas this one, it's also short, but there's more of a plot to it, there's more, like, iconic things in it, and this is definitely where my blueprint as Max Goof started. This one, though, interestingly enough, I haven't opened yet because I haven't watched it on DVD yet. But yeah, I mean, not a lot to say. I've already harped on Max Goof too much, but just know that I love this movie, and I don't care what that says about me.
Once you're watching every move that I make, you gotta believe that I gotta win.
Next, I have a movie, our first Blu-ray, that honestly I think got way too much hate and like criticism when it came out. I can understand why it's not for everybody, but that movie is Birds of Prey. I honestly don't know what the official title of this movie is anymore because they changed it around so much, but on the box it is Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, which I know it's a long title, but for me, I like it. It's very Harley Quinn's, which, it's a Harley Quinn movie, so that makes sense to me. First of all, love this packaging. Love it probably doesn't pick up on camera, but it's got like a little holographic thing going on. Same picture on the inside, but I like this little slip. I actually really like this movie. First of all, I really enjoy Margot Robbie's portrayal of Harley Quinn in general, but I really liked this movie. I don't care like what qualms you have with it. I'm not claiming it to be a perfect movie, but I thought it was fun. Liked Harley Quinn having a solo moment with the Birds of Prey characters. Added great soundtrack. Experiment on Me by Halsey was brought into this world because of this movie, so I will forever love this movie for that. It's one of my favorite Halsey songs. Big Halsey fan. And I don't know, I even have this necklace. I might have worn it in a video before, I'm not sure. But yeah, I love this movie. I think it's colorful, I think it's fun. And honestly, I think what happened was this movie was made for the feminine gaze and not the male gaze, and that's why it got ripped up so much. Also, we'll never forgive DC for taking out the queer storyline between Black Mask and Victor Zsasz, because it's still there. I can see the queer codedness going on, and that would have been so great, but you know, whatever, they decided to be homophobic and take it out. Because also Victor Zsasz in this movie, I know I shouldn't, but he does do it for me. But it's also because I like that actor. I just think that actor is also attractive. But anyway, moral of the story, like Birds of Prey, moving on.
Can I help you?
Why, yes, yes, you can. I'm here to report a terrible crime.
And what terrible crime is that?
This one.
Next, we have a movie, another Blu-ray, that stars, I honestly would say probably my favorite actress. And one of her movies that didn't really get that talked about when it came out. I feel like it flew under the radar, but that is Red Sparrow, starring Jennifer Lawrence. I really like this movie, and I was surprised that it didn't like it didn't get more attention, because I think this is like the next movie right after the Hunger Games franchise ended, or like around the same time she won the Oscar for Silver Linings. So I don't know why it didn't get pushed more out there, but I really like this movie. It's a spy movie. She's a Russian spy. Well, it's a little bit more than that, but she's a Russian spy. The combat is pretty like brutal. There's not a lot of it, but they're not afraid to break bones and shit in this movie. It's it's very secret operations spy situation. So some things happen to people when they speak or when they don't speak. It's a little long, but I think if you're a film person, you don't mind a little bit of a longer movie. And it also I wouldn't say this has a twist ending per se, but there's a lot of like what's going on towards the ending that is really fun. So yeah, I had to have this on DVD. I got it because I used to work at it wasn't necessarily a movie store, but it was just like a pop culture store, I guess, and they sold music and movies. So every once in a while, like something like this that I wouldn't say it's like hard to find, but something that I really enjoy would come into the store used, or sometimes brand new too, but I'd be able to get my hands on it with my little employee discount. So when this one came in, I said, that's coming home with me.
Why do you do what you do?
Beat selling tires.
Have you ever sold tires?
No.
Then you can't know, can you?
Good point. Hey, I'd like to see you again.
Why are we going to become friends?
Is that what you want?
I don't have any.
Next, we have one of my favorite movies. We're talking top 10, which is saying a lot because it's hard for me to make even like a 25 list. I have to update it every couple of months, honestly. But this is a firm, it stays in my top 10 of my favorite movies, which might come as a surprise. But it is Confessions of a Shopaholic. Is it a comedy starring Isla Fisher? I just love this movie. I adore this movie. I quote this movie all the time. My cousin, who's like one of my best friends in the world, like my sister to me, is probably tired of me quoting this movie. I all the time say Rebecca Bloomwood from Successful Savings. I love this movie. This might be a little bit surprising based on the content of my channel, but one of my favorite kinds of movies is like early to mid 2000s comedies. I just love the vibes, just love the energy. I think honestly the 2000s and the 90s for me are like my favorite time for movies. I just love this movie. I think it's so funny, but I also love that it has like an actual raw story at its core. Like it's really funny and it is hilarious, but it is like a story about addiction at the end of the day. So I just love everything about it. If you want a good little time and don't mind a little bit of romance, you should watch this. And this is another one that came and used to my old job, and I very quickly was like, yeah, no, nobody else is having this but me.
You do not need a scarf. Then again, who needs a scarf? Wrap some old jeans around your neck. That'll keep you warm. That's what your mother would do. You're right, she would.
Next, we have a more recent addition, which is VHS 85. Now, if you didn't know, I'm gonna put you on to something. If you love movies that Shudder releases, like movies that Shudder gets the rights to and distributes or like adds to their platform, a lot of their films, a lot of Shudder originals and stuff that they pick up gets put on DVD at Walmart. So don't walk, but run to Walmart. And this is one of the ones they had. And I really love the VHS franchise. Don't get me wrong, not all of them are necessarily like my most favorite thing. And there's definitely, you know, not all of the segments in every single movie are my favorite thing. But I was really, VHS 85 kind of did that for me. I don't know, I just think it's really good. Like the wraparound, this is my favorite wraparound story in the VHS franchise. I thought that what they did with it was so fun and different for the franchise, and I don't know, there's something in the water about this VHS movie. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, but a lot of the segments in it are really cool with the ideas, and that's the Scott Derrickson one in here is so good. I just like the overall tone to it, and I don't know, that wraparound is so good. Like, I don't know, I really like this one. I don't like the ones that have just most recently came out. This is gonna be one of my favorites for sure.
And welcome back to Ozzy's Dungeon. I'm here with the two remaining contestants. We have Donna from the Big D, Detroit, Michigan, and Timmy from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. Okay, so who's ready for the final challenge?
Ooh, okay. So we have a sequel movie, not even like a second movie. This is like the 5th installment, but we have Resident Evil Retribution, kind of, you know, like I said, this random stack assortment, and I'm gonna crazily say this is one of my favorite movies in general. Like, I don't know, I am controversially, I guess, I don't know, people have different opinions, but I actually don't mind the Resident Evil movie series, the OG one from Resident Evil to Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. I think it's mostly a nostalgia thing for me. Like my dad bought me back when it was just the 3 movies, like a DVD set of them at Walmart. I'm giving Walmart a lot of credit here today. And I watched those movies over and over again. And all the Resident Evil movies, but on those 3 discs, they had director, producer commentaries, and cast commentaries. And I can't tell you how much when I was younger that I would spend just putting those on and listening to the commentary. And like that really is like a super nostalgic thing for me, and honestly a really niche thing. But I would honestly even go as far as saying that those director and cast commentaries was like some of my first experience with like really like falling in love with like film and like filmmaking, because most of them are like a little bit silly, like it's just like Mila Jovovich and Paul W.S. Anderson like having fun and like dicking around. But I love being able to hear about like the set design and the directing and then just all those things. So like these movies, like I know they're as silly as they may be to some people or whatever, like they're really important to me in my just like filmography, like with things that got me into film, and they're just really nostalgic for me. But this one is my favorite in the franchise. I remember I saw the trailer for it and I was so excited. I made my dad take me to see it for my birthday that year. It came around like the same like week or so, I think, of my birthday that year, and I just loved it. I love everything about this one. Like, there's some character choices that I don't necessarily stand by per se. Just kidding, like, it's whatever. But, I don't know, there's just something in the water about this one. Like, the hallway sequence is dead ass, I'm not kidding, one of my favorite movie scenes ever. I just love this one. I watched this back when I want to have like a comfort movie night, like at least 2 to 3 times a year. So had to have it. Don't necessarily remember how I got it. It was probably, it was probably a Christmas gift that same year that it came out for obvious reasons. Next, we have a diva that you all know and probably love. It is Miss Pearl herself. Love the X trilogy, and Ty West is actually my favorite director. So obviously, I mean, I don't have to say much. This is a modern classic, and I love Ty West, so I had to have it. This is definitely my favorite of the franchise. I love Mia Goth as a performer, and I just think everything they did in this movie was great. It's something that happened kind of on accident, but I just love it. I think her performance is great. I think the way it looks, oh my god, the Technicolor vibe is great. And, I just really don't think I have to say much. Like, there's been enough said about these movies. And this one was actually a gift from my best friend. So thank you for that. I definitely have popped this one up in my DVD player more than once. Next, we have my first, I guess, more like special physical media item, because it is my one and only, hope to grow the collection, but my one and only Criterion Closet DVD, and that is for Drugstore Cowboy. As I said, I love Matt Dillon, and I adore this movie. Like, this is, for me, I try to be original, of course, as a filmmaker, but there is a lot of stuff in here that is referential for me. In this film, I love the tone. First of all, I love the tone. I love the writing. But there's a lot of actually like on this cover, there's a lot of scenes in here that kind of have Matt Dillon standing there, and he's a little bit transparent, and there's just like things overlaid falling, and I love the look of that. And that's definitely something that's kind of popped up in my work before. I just love this movie. I just everything about it. I love the music choices. I love his acting performance in it. I love the way, I won't spoil it, but the way it ends and kind of what it implies. And I adore this movie. So I wanted to have it obviously on DVD, but I saw that it just recently got released in the Criterion Closet, and I was like, I have to have I was like, what a fitting first pickup for me from the closet. Because also, like, not to be like, what's the word, like, not to be like pretentious and be like my Criterion Closet DVD, but it just feels really cool to finally have one and for it to be a movie that I love.
Hey, Bob, how much do you want for her? How much is this for her? Huh? How much of this do you want for the fox female?
Hey, what do you think I am? Some kind of closet pimp? I've never heard of such a violation of women's rights in all my life.
We have another Matt Dillon movie on our hands. Didn't do it on purpose, but here it is. But this is a little bit more modern, which is The House That Jack Built, which, right, before you kill me, just let me explain myself. This is one of my favorite horror movies, and one of my favorite movies in general. Maybe not. It kind of goes in and out of being top 10, top 15, but that should at least tell you how much I like this movie. I bought this. Oh no, actually, this is a Christmas gift from this past Christmas from my mom, and I know that Lars von Trier is, we'll just say, controversial. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first watched this movie, I was not aware of the controversies. And I know his movies don't work for everybody, and don't get me wrong, they don't all work for me either. But this one, I do honestly really enjoy. I like the structure of it. I, of course, love Matt Dillon's acting performance in it, but I really like what it has to say. Now, coming from Lars von Trier, it is a little bit pretentious and a little bit like, okay, like, let's be, like, real here. But as a piece of art, I actually do really like what it has to say about being an artist, especially particularly for me, a filmmaker. So, hate me if you like, but I like this movie.
So the material was the jack and it jumped into the lady's face on its own.
Art is many things.
Very convenient and unusual in the pile of bad excuses. But all of that is of no interest whatsoever unless you are an engineer.
I am an engineer.
Next up, we have my favorite movie from last year, which is The Substance. If you've watched my channel for a little bit now, you know how I feel about this movie, and seemingly how a lot of the world feels about this movie. When I saw that it was gonna get a physical release, I had to have it. I was gonna give my money. So I was gonna. So my mom has like a Walmart account or like this weird situation. So I was gonna give her money to order it for me, but she was kind enough to just like get it for me as a little gift, and I'm just really glad to have it. I love filmmakers doing crazy shit and having original ideas, and even more so I love when it pays off, and I'm very happy to own this and support Corley. I think she does some really amazing work. I also love her film Revenge. I've also seen her short Reality Plus. I just think she's really cool and doing cool things, and I'm happy to have this on physical media. We're nearing the end of this stack, I promise. But next we have another gift from my best friend, and this is probably based off of the rest of the movies that I've gone over so far going to be a little bit of a left turn. But we have Dude, Where's My Car, starring Ashton Kutcher and Seann William Scott, two actors that I really like. I as I've said, I love the 2000s vibes, so I will say there is a lot of things on a recent rewatch of this movie that don't really hold up in the year 2025, but I don't think it's anything to the level of, like, we gotta cancel this movie now. But yeah, I enjoyed I love this movie. I'm sorry, it's the stoner skater vibes are it for me. Ashton Kutcher from this period in time is also very attractive to me. Sorry, not sorry. Love Seann William Scott. You know, this is just a classic, like, stoner movie, and I have it on physical media. Don't know what that says about me, but
Dude, you got a tattoo! So do you, dude? No. Oh. Dude, what does my tattoo say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say?
okay. Next we have my favorite movie, Point Blank Period, which is kind of fun to be saying this on my little channel because, I haven't talked about it yet, but it is my favorite movie. And this out of everything will be the shocker, I think, because I'm pretty sure if you have paid attention to my content, you'd assume it was like some obscure like horror movie or something, but it is actually an 80s film called Beaches. Now, I've had this DVD forever. Sorry. My grandmother gifted it to me a long time ago because I was in choir in like 7th grade, I think, and we were singing Wind Beneath My Wings, and I had like not heard of the song before, and she told me, you know, it came from this movie, so she showed me this movie, and I just loved it. I just think it's such a heartwarming story. It is a little bit sad, of course, but I think it's always just going to be nostalgic for me. It reminds me of my grandmother. It also reminds me of the relationship I have with my cousin that I mentioned earlier. Because I'm more of the like artsy, I want to be like scene type, and she's a little bit more, you know, I don't want to get too much into all that, but it reminds me a lot of us, and I adore this movie. It's my favorite movie. It always will be. It's nostalgic for me, and of course, I have it on DVD.
What the hell is going on here?
Would you please lower your voice?
No, I won't. I want to know what's eating you. You have been a total bitch ever since you came to New York.
I could say the same thing about you.
I've simply been reacting to you.
Oh, for God's sake, don't you get it? We've grown apart. It happens to the best of friends. It's happened to us. We might as well face it.
All right, we only have 3 DVDs left in this stack, and all 3 of these, for me personally, are bangers that I personally really love and hold in high regard. This next movie is also in my like top 4, top 5 of movies, and that is Spencer. And that is Spencer, starring Kristen Stewart. This is a Pablo Larraín, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Pablo Larraín film about Princess Diana. Now, what I think is really interesting about this movie is it's not like a true story. It is labeled as something around the lines of a fairy tale or a fable based off of true story. So it's a completely fictional like tale or like depiction or like look at Princess Diana's life, but based on, you know, like the information that we know. And I just think this movie is beautiful. The score and the soundtrack are my favorites. There's a lot of scenes that I love, like all the pearl scenes, the pearl scene on the staircase and the pearl scene at the dinner table are like some of my like favorite scenes of all time. I think Kristen Stewart's performance in this is really powerful. I really wish she would have won the Oscar for it, but I'm glad she just got in. I adore this movie. I love the look of it. Like, I could go on and on about this film. I really, really love it. I bought this one for myself, like, right when it became available, and I'm really glad to have it. Next up, we have a controversial film, which is Skinamarink. Now, controversial not because it's like, you know, like doing anything problematic. It's just controversial because people have very strong opinions about this. You either love this movie and think it's horrifying, or you hate this movie and don't see the hype. Personally, when I first watched this, it did work on me. It did scare the shit out of me, and the last frame stayed in my brain for like a good 2 weeks, honestly. And that's honestly saying a lot because I do not get scared by movies. I might let a jump scare get me, but I don't get like freaked out or like scared by movies anymore, like at all. And this got me good, bitch. But I will say, I think to explain why this movie worked for me, because I know some of you are probably like, what the fuck? I love analog horror. I'm a big consumer of analog horror. Like, I love Gemini Home Entertainment. I love, you know, what's the other one I really like? Well, Kane Pixel's Backrooms, obviously, but I love analog horror. So this type of thing is gonna work for me. It's not gonna work for everybody, but I love what Kyle Edward Ball did with this. I can kind of understand some complaints about the runtime, but I love this. This is the other gift my mom got for me with the house that Jack built on Christmas, this past Christmas, and I'm really glad to have it. It's not really like a movie for me that's something I wish to rewatch a whole bunch of times, but it's just something for me I wanted to have in my collection. So, for the last movie of today, I'm kind of glad it worked out this way because this movie is the winner from the first ever, like, more official Blades Best in Show, and a movie that I really love, and that is Barbie. This is a Blu-ray copy of it. I think I do have another copy of it, so we'll get to that in a future video, but I love this movie. I know it's not for everybody, but I really do think I miss Barbie summer. I do really think it, like, I love the way it influenced culture, and, like, hi Barbie, and all the little quirky things that came out of it. But I just think Greta Gerwig did a great job with this movie, because when I first heard about this movie, I definitely was excited for, like, and interested for it, but I did not anticipate how much I would love it. Like, this has really become like a top 10 movie for me. I think it's so funny yet so smart. I definitely do plan on doing a let's talk about it at some point, but I kind of already touched upon my feelings about it in my substance let's talk about, where I just think it's a feminine empowering movie that was so intelligent, yet somehow got so turned around because it was so feminine in pink. But make no mistake, as funny as this movie is also super intelligent and super well written. I love what Greta Gerwig did with this, and it is one of my favorites. I even have a poster of it up on my wall. I have the book that was released by Margot Robbie and the costuming person from the movie. Like, I really love this movie, and it's just fun. You guys, it's just fun. Like, don't kill me.
Oh, hey. You've caught me reading.
Oh, I've been thinking. Kenland?
Kendom.
Kendom.
Kendom Land.
Land of
the free and the men.
Right. Well, this place
Kendom
is
Land.
really great. And the Kens really are just better at ruling than the Barbies ever were.
Well, we just took patriarchy and, made a patriarchy.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking.
Yes?
I'm ready to be your long-term, distance, low-commitment, casual girlfriend, if you'll still have me.
So yeah, that is my first round, I guess, of going through my DVD collection. I hope you enjoyed going on this little journey with me. Please let me know if you'd like me to continue going through the rest of my collection. There's a lot of movies to look at, and a lot of, like, honestly, some wild things that are lingering in there. But I also hope you enjoyed this opportunity to hear more about other movies that I enjoy, and, like, maybe get a little vibe for my personality outside of, like, reviewing things and video essays and being a little bit more free form. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hi, my name is Blade. I'm a small queer independent filmmaker. I make film reviews and film essays in a series called Let's Talk About, which are all available on my channel. I also have some of my performance art films, like the one I just recently put out, A Portrait of Healing, is on my channel, and not sure if it'll still be up by the time I get this video out, but I am working on a, I guess, like, more like real debut film project titled Glimmer that I'm crowdfunding for. So you can definitely look into that on my channel if you want to support that as well. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.